Cool. We are live. If you are watching this on YouTube, thank you very much. It's very cool that you guys check out the VODs. Usual preamble or whatever. If you are completely new to the channel, somehow got this, be sure to check out the other videos. If you like the project, do us a favor and subscribe. I haven't looked at the analytics recently, but I've got the feeling if I looked at the analytics, I would see that not everybody's subscribing. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me look at that in the background right now. Open link in new window. Hey, BDC Retro. Let me look at our analytics. Audience. Oh no, we've got a ton of returning viewers. You guys you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. We gotta boost those new viewer numbers. Returning viewers, are you subscribed? Let's look. Yeah, you're super subscribed. Shit. Like 80% of you are subscribed. Good job. If you're not subscribed, help us hit 85, 90%. That's some serious love. Tell your friends about it. Get them over here watching these videos. How you doing today, BDC Retro? Twerk Goddess. Hello. Twerk Goddess, is that like a legit nickname? Is that like a pet name your parents gave you, or where'd that come from? Joke nickname that stuck? Okay. Came from your friends. The real question is, does Twerk Goddess have a Twitch channel? Look at you, BDC Retro. I'm reading Nick's patch notes for the hotfix that we just put on Friends and Family. Good stuff in here. I'm actually going to check a thing or two out so I don't have to bug him. I can just look in the database or look in the editor to see anything I can read on here. Yeah, because it's not like top secret. It's stuff that's going to go out in our other notes and stuff, like our update. It's some level changes, tweaking of levels of spawns and shaded dunes. And let's see. A ton of ability changes. Hey, Squirrely Cock. Placate, strength. Some wizard stuff. Arcane infusion. Alright, so some work on that. Bolt of Frost. Some Spellblade stuff. I need to work on Spellblade quests soon. So every little bit of info on them is helpful to see if I can make the quest be a little bit specific to them. So weapon infusion spells are now instant cast and their mana costs have been reduced by half. Added infused weapon chilling embrace. Shadow Rift is now a neutral spell that does not generate hate, allowing you to use it on friendly NPCs. Cool. Some elementalist changes as well. First things first, let's take a look at what's going on in Shaded Dunes. Hey Angel, Remez, Tovax, Erho, Pattis. Let's load up the data. Hope everybody's having a good morning so far. I'm gonna need this coffee to kick in real quick. Alright. Did he make these guys into something here? Who is the Okay, so he made a lower level of sheer variety. Cool. Got no qualms with that one. I actually just came out of like our confluence. I was just moving some stuff around and putting some notes in and getting things ready for little dungeon number 2 action, which is most likely going to be Ashira themed, taking some lore that we had for another area, but I think it'll fit in nicely. So it's just kind of messing with that a little bit, and then had some brilliant epiphanies that I can't wait to share with the team. Pattis, if you get into Confluence, you might be able to see it already. All right, so that was one thing, and he said he lowered the level ranges. I'm thinking like right around here, the SD transition stuff, copper node, because this is already newbie stuff. I'm thinking here. So let me see what's on this list now. Yeah, I'm actually super pumped on the next dungeon, Pattis. I think we could get some wonderful goblin concepts for some of the POIs and stuff, and the idea I just put in there about what it could do, what it could serve as longer term, and sort of interaction with Night Harbor. I'm excited. I don't know, maybe other people will be. Angel asks, any more fun surprise talks with your old EQ dev buddies planned? No, not planned. That's why they end up being surprises. I saw the announcement today about Smed's eventual leaving of Amazon Game Studio. Is the music too loud? Today's asking of, is the music too loud, goes out to my dear friend who last year told us that no one wants to log into a VOD and hear me ask if the audio levels are okay. Thanks for the advice, buddy. Sure, if we had taken it, we'd have a bazillion viewers. Hey, Chat Solo. I'm going to hit pause on the music real quick. I was thinking about this earlier today. I forget what I was doing. I don't know if it was working out or eating breakfast or whatever. And some of the folks on the team watch the stream, which to me, it's like, man, that's crazy. Because I know how hard it is to do like time management and get all the shit done that we need to get done with our day jobs, families, other real life stuff, work on the game, and then also like watching stream and stuff, which, you know, if you can do it in the background while you work or whatever, God bless you. You could be watching other stuff. So that's still very cool of you. One of the things I was thinking about is sometimes I feel like I don't express myself well, you know, like in terms of showing emotion or appreciation or whatever. And I know we just came out of the holidays where I'm sure I was expressing sort of my appreciation and thankfulness for the team. But again, what we do in terms of like working on the game, making games in general is not easy. I was kind of, you know, again, there's that reminder of it, seeing the article about SMED and Amazon games. Let me bring that up. SMED, Amazon games. News. Yeah, so it's on massively OP. So you know what? Making games is not easy. Making games with your spare time, when you've got tons of other shit that you could be doing with your time or whatever, is especially not easy. And so if I don't say it enough, if you're from the team and watching, even if we're like in there and we're debating stuff or arguing over improvements or iterating on something for the 50th time or whatever, it's always done under the sort of auspices or with the understanding or whatever that I am 1,000,000,000% incredibly grateful to not only have the personalities that we have on the team, but the talent that they bring with them. We have a fantastic team. Everybody's been working their ass off. I don't know how some people manage all of it, but they're fucking fantastic. And love you guys. I'm just saying it now because I feel like, you know, it doesn't convey in Slack and text a lot of times where I'm just like, hey, could you redo this again, please? Or it's not quite right or whatever. So you guys are amazing. And it's insane to think that, we've now been doing it, especially like, you know, Nick and Ali and Bunny out there somewhere, like, we've been doing this for a couple years now, right? And the rest of the crew is creeping up on that type of time frame as well. I've seen fully funded game studios not last this long. Thank you, Midgard. Sorry for interrupting your message. Thank you for 29 months. But yeah. I mean, so anyway, that's it. I'm done with that part of it. I'll turn the music back on in a minute. But yeah, it says here, John Smedley is moving on from his role heading the San Diego branch of Amazon Game Studios, according to a memo sent to staff and first published on Bloomberg. After a lot of thought, I've decided it's time for me to try my hand at something new. And yeah, background on SMED. So he said the game's still in production. All we know about it, because none of my friends have dared leak anything to me, Brian, Paul, Akil, anybody over there, I've gotten no leaks. So it's some sort of sci-fi MMO shooter that had not been formally announced. But the article says we do know it was still in production as of last fall. Amazon told Bloomberg that Smed's team remains focused on bringing their unannounced project to life and that he'll be staying on until the team is fully transitioned before he moves to pursue something new. Oh, man. So it's not easy to ship games. And yeah, keep that in mind as we continue to plow ahead. That said, we're learning a lot on our end from friends and family. Like I said, I was just reading from the Hotfix release notes that Nick had posted, and that's why I'm in here looking around so I can see what's changed, and looking good. Cool. Back to the music. Hey, Justin Beard. 29 months is a long bit of lurking Midgard. Mushafasa said, oh, interesting. I interpreted something new as breaking out of the MMO space. Instead, I guess he's breaking out of a space MMO. All right. Well, the first drum roll of the day does not go to John. It goes to you. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Let's see. Encounter table, spawn group, data. Fine. Cool. All right. So that's looking tight. What do I want to do today? Let me look at my list of things to do. You know what? I just restarted my machine, so I'm gonna black out my desktop view really quick, just in case. Oh, it's dark. Let me open this. Let me open that. They both opened on the other screen, so it was an unnecessary worry, but we're good. Then I go ahead and just open them up here so you could, I guess, zoom in. Cool. We still got this little area over here that doesn't have much going on, but if we wind up putting the new dungeon entrance somewhere over here, then little valley going up and stuff, then we'll probably reorganize some of the stuff. And honestly, there's a fair bit of this that'll wind up getting changed when we do some redo anyway.
Thank you for making future memories for us all. Right on.
Hey, Isan. What's up, brother? Thank you for 22 months. Good morning, Rev Chumley. Can gnomes be clerics? Yes, they can, Torque Goddess. Writing a note over here real quick. How you doing today, Isan? All right, so thanks for making monsters too. The monsters are mainly made by Zukin. Be sure to thank him. All right, so this works now. Like, this should work now. It's weird because I rarely operate in the actual... the way I wind up working a lot is instead of loading up the scene where, you know, all the data resides, if I'm not doing some sort of prop placement or that type of thing, then I'm probably not in the scene. I usually just run the game, load the data up in the scene view, and then just kind of go from there. Even though it's a bit laggier, the frame rate's not the best, but it allows me to reload the zone quickly, get the latest data. Urho asked, well, first boldly stated, listen, I'm here to ask the real questions. At what point can I play a Goblin Bard? Not at launch, but we're gonna be a interesting game on that front over time. That's all I'm gonna say. Nothing confirmed before you even jump to conclusions. That confirmed nothing. Nothing? You did confirm that'll be interesting? I don't feel like I'm going out on a limb when I say that. It's weird. The more I look at this little concept that comes up for the glass flats, the more I find little details, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Hey, Gardamir. So these guys had an old. What level of jetpacks unlocked? I can't say. Fixius, you're just gonna have to play. You keep playing until you unlock them. Once you've unlocked it, you come back here and you let us know. Urho, here's all the leaks. Your subtle hints have been foiled. I assumed I'd screw that up. I'm really bad at leaking. All the time. I'm always leaking on stream. Oh, that's interesting. There's no longer a flame in the torch. But at least that removes the bug of when the torch goes out, the flame still shows. What was I gonna say? No, it's gone. How much emphasis will there be for picking the right race / origin with a given class? So I'm gonna give an answer that's complete bullshit, but it's the answer I'm gonna give for now, and then ultimately you're just gonna have to judge for yourself. I live in a world of this desire for a lot of ability for us to pick interesting options for our characters that give us a sense of agency and making the character feel like our own, and providing as much of that as possible, while also, you know, realizing that some of those options are going to lead to people identifying kind of a best build. They always do. And then with my third hand going, so imagine I have 3 hands now, going, and then also building a game that, while very challenging, doesn't necessarily create an environment where you just feel absolutely you feel it's absolutely mandatory to build the best build in order to be successful at the leading edge of the game. So I live in that fantasy world, which I think those 3 hands put together, make a coherent thought. I don't know. Keep said, just say no to min-maxing. There's no way to not min-max. Everything's min-maxed, right? There's no way to not have min-maxing exist. The question is, I guess, how much does the context create a situation in which the optimal approach truly is, like, distinctly, obviously optimal? Those of you tuning in for the first time, I think I've been saying this more and more lately, just because I do hop into our actual build client. If you look at it and you go, holy shit, what's going on with your frame rate? That's because I'm running it in editor, and my god, the glorious difference between playing in editor while working and playing in our actual client. I don't think I'm overstating that. Goblin Bards, a minimal size and maximum fun, so I understand the concept of min-max pretty well. I think you could make an argument, Urho. Alright. Actually, I forgot that I was playing this guy legit before. Change icon. Monster. Okay. What stat are bards dependent on, by the way? I don't know, Nick. What stat are bards dependent on? Or what stats? Nick screwed up and made his appearance known, so I'm just going to deflect all the serious questions to him. Dexterity and charisma so far, Nick said, but I think we're going to have certain abilities scale with certain stats. Beautiful answer. Pazzy says, bouncing the origin bonus is going to be hard. Like basically everything in games, everyone wants something slightly different from it. Personally, I want the races to have some difference. That's noticeable, but not enough to feel left behind by another origin. I think that's a fair wish. Nick mentions maybe you'll have an obscure wisdom bard for something. Uchapasa says intelligence for freestyle, in case you're freestyle rapping as a bard, I guess. Hey guys. Cool. So the guy that we put in on, or we're looking at on Tuesday, Ali discovered what was going on with the command crashing the zone, crashing the server when I was using it on Tuesday, because what we were using was a cross zone trigger. There's a guy. No, it's almost nighttime, so we may actually just see it live. We'll run over there and we'll look at this. Why does that happen? Cool. It's 5. Let me run faster. So, game time is 5 p.m., so that's good. Maybe we can see all of this kind of work as intended unless the dude dies all of a sudden, which would suck, but... So we'll let this play out normally, and then we'll see if the trigger actually works across zones and stuff. And then I gotta double check while I'm in here. Fair point. I need to double check while I'm in here that his spawn on the other zone is actually set up properly. Midgard said, having a bard be able to fill different roles depending on instruments and stats would be neat. To which Twerk Goddess replied, does that go for other classes too, or just bards? Like more strength for a Yalp cleric? Or something? Man, I would love to have a little gnomish Yalp cleric. That was the only thing I wanted to do that I wound up not really being able to do with my cleric in the higher levels. But I'll be honest, like, man, playing that cleric wound up really changing my my view on playing a healer. I enjoyed it so much. That little Aerodune cleric. All right, guys. I'm glad the spooky music just started playing as well. I'm listening to the I'm listening to Robert's playlist of all of our soundtrack music. Now I kind of want to play this song right in this area as the sun's going down. And Nick, I didn't forget your question about sort of origins of stuff in this area. I was thinking about that earlier, but today I wound up not having /kill /kill. Are they gonna beat him before it gets there? Kill. I'm just getting this stuff out of the way. Ordinarily, the researchers just get steamrolled. As you can tell by this guy running up. Kill. Okay. But when the undead respawn, they'll come in and clean up here. Because for the rest of the night they respawn and the researchers don't anymore. But yeah, so days like today, wound up bouncing between some stuff and then taking care of real life stuff, etc. And just didn't really get much writing done, but I'm gonna get some stuff written down about this and then dig into the remaining quest stuff tomorrow for sure. Kill. Oh shit. Kill. Kill. Head researcher, Ashir, you are brave, but you are a dummy. Attacking all those guys. Let's get you out of here, buddy. Oh, that reminds me. I don't think we have... I need to ask Ali about this. Dialogue. Based on day, night. We've got to have it. I guess I'm being a dummy in the database and overlooked it. Oh, don't let this cultist sneak up on you, buddy. I don't know why you pause every once in a while, but it's not the move. Just thinking big thoughts? Yep. Really love how willing these archaeologists are to throw down. Hopefully that ends up as part of their lore. Extremely hands-on historians. The guy who blew up a wall and stabbed a movie to find treasure. Yeah. No, our researchers in this game are, you know, they are treasure hunters. Our archaeologists, all these people, they're running around at the onset of the age of discovery looking for all sorts of cool shit. Oh, maybe once we've got like liquor bottles as props or whatever, we'll have a bunch of liquor bottles strewn around the dig site. It'll make perfect sense. I saw temporary courage and I immediately thought, yep, they've been drinking. That might not be what you meant, but that is that's what came to mind. All right. All right, so he thanked me for my assistance. He can make it from here. Go check on my men, and then meet me at the dig site in Night Harbor. Well, I'm not going to check on your man. I'm going to fall through the world. Oh my god. And then I'm just going to catapult myself up in the air. Can alcohol give players an actual boost that counters fear effect? Toot Master... I don't know what to... let's save that for when we do a full alcohol pass. We'll work on that in a later milestone. We'll convince the team to drink alcohol while they do it. Turn off aggro. Yai Nux Fleuret. Right? I'm not going to pronounce that correctly, but I appreciate the follow either way. Okay, here he is. The lieutenant's invisible, but he's here now. Nice. Cool. Now, while we're in here, let's look at the spawn point for him and see what's going on. And while I'm in here... Zone has been repopped. And then, let me see if this still crashes things. I'm gonna... It didn't make the lieutenant come back, unfortunately. That worked for me earlier. I was doing some tweaks to quests earlier, and the dude was NPC, or the NPC was invisible, and the repop command made him visible again. But our researcher's not here because the trigger hasn't been fired. Let me see if firing the trigger no longer crashes things. Trigger, I could have sworn it was... Boom. It worked. What are you guys saying? Dargith, are you implying something about the team? Implying no, I'm not that subtle. Nice. Pazzy says, I have a friend who spent 30% of his time in EQ just brewing alcohol. If I tell him this game has alcohol crafting and has different effects, then I know I have a duo partner to play with. Okay, that is actually a very important additional information that you didn't give us early on. Well, we've got a fermenting trainer. We've got a brewing trainer. We've got a couple of crazy folks on the team that really want to get even crazier with trade skills. I think things can happen. Twerk Goddess says, add vodka and martinis. Just a thought. Why does that sound in keeping with your character? Cheese making, probably gonna be in, knowing Ollie. You would just play cheese making. Trinity D's like, that's as elaborate as I'm gonna get with that. Just when it comes to crazy trade skills. Archmage, thank you for 7 months. Charcuterie boards, man. How fancy do you think this game is? John said, cheese making, what is this? Monsters and memories? Hi, John. Fanaticis, guten Tag, wie geht's dir? Alles gut? Alright, so the guy spawns. Do you notice how long it takes me to do a single freaking thing when I'm streaming? I'm like, 42 minutes ago, I was like, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to check this guy's data. And I just go on and on and on. It's actually, I'm actually, my job is to throw you off the scent of how easy it is to make games. Behind the scenes, we're just throwing shit together. We could have had the whole game done like 3 times over already. But what I do is I come out here and I make it look like it takes a long time, right? Like I'm like, oh my god, it takes 40 minutes for me to even load up this guy's spawn point. It's complicated and lots of thought going into it. In all seriousness, Nick's probably written up another 300 item patch note in the background since the stream started 40 minutes ago. Let me double check and make sure. Just add more content. Easy. Yeah. Just there's a content. But what the hell was that? Why did everybody just jump? Do we have earthquakes in the game already? Did you see that? Did you see them jump? That was pretty awesome. We need to keep that. Keep NPC jump for earthquakes. Earth with a Q. Pezzy says, I think it'd be very funny if you could specialize into fancy food like a cheese platter or homely food like a big stew. See who brings what to the dungeons. Probably the person with the like 300 points in etiquette is gonna rock the fancy cheese platter. All right. Oh my gosh, look at all this data. And we're just getting started. We're probably gonna have to, oh man, like we may have to put some sort of a filter on this at some point as we go. Dungeon potluck, Justin Beard, that's brilliant. 21 Ranger, looking for group, and I have cookies. You should have magical weather effects like raining daggers or bouncy ground. Don't let us forget raining daggers. I think that's a good one. It's raining daggers. Hallelujah. Alright, so what's this guy up to? Earthquakes confirmed. Hi, Warlord. Good job. Stay out of the rain, it's sharp. Alright. Cool. It looks like Ali hooked me up when he fixed this. Perfect. Oh, but he's flagged as no despawn. We will want him to despawn when it's all said and done. Alright, so while we're sitting here just talking about raining daggers and important shit like that, let's make us a little quest for this guy. I'm glad you clipped that, High Warlord of Chaz, and I'm glad that people didn't do a lot of clipping of the last stream. Apologies for being mean to a viewer and then banning them. I will not do that again in the future. This week. Unless more dum-dums show up, then it's bound to happen. But just this week, yes. If possible. Alright, so NPC. I didn't even think about the fact that his name is very close to the word Ashira as well. You know what? Let's just leave his name for now. It's fine. John says you weren't mean. You were as patient as a parent. A father figure even. A daddy, if you will. Let's see. NPC quest. So usually I like to write the quests in some sort of a application like Google Docs or something like that to help me catch my typos and formulate my thoughts, but usually I also like to write when I'm not on stream to help me not make typos and actually have thoughts. But you know what? We're doing it live. So this guy's got, I tried to set up one with a condition night. That may be wrong, but well, actually I know it's wrong. So I have to look into that note that I made earlier for Ollie. Toastmaster said they should run to their tent scared at night, but if you do a quest where you deliver alcohol, then bottles appear on the ground, they have the courage to fight. You know, you're saying it as a joke, but that may be a fun mechanic for something later. Don't let us forget it. We're doing it live. All right, so liquid courage is dangerous. Should I do this over here as well? So that you can see I'm doing things. You can watch me make typos and stuff. That, yeah. You can later submit as bugs. So say, we'll keep this pretty simple. We'll make it better later. But this will be us making some quests together. That'll be fun. Say. He'll go. What's a good way to sort of be like, hello? My apologies. I'm still very... What are we gonna say here? Still coming down. This is why it's easier to just write in a document. Figure this out. So the guy's basically going to be like, hello, I apologize, I'm still calming down from, these won't be the exact words, calming down from escaping the attack on the camp. We'll leave it, maybe we'll leave it at that. I mean, we don't need to spoil the whole thing. Let you ask about it. Trying calm down after escaping the attack on our dig site. Boom. We'll do that. Just like that. Give a few to catch breath, we. You know what? Nick used a He had like one of these because the guy's been drinking. I could have sworn it was Nick that put it in there. He used one of these sort of like a hiccup symbol in the dialogue. I looked at it and I was like, I actually like that. I thought that was effective. Cool. So we've got this now. Now we can easily just add an yeah, we'll come over here, copy this guy, paste him, instantiate the ID by 1, come over, say, don't forget my coffee making in M&M. Don't worry, we're not going to forget it. All right. Say, my keyboard's constantly changing languages because of the whole control shift thing, I think. Attack. Say, is a sunset a group of cultists appeared and summoned forth undead that were undead whose bones must have been strewn beneath the sands of our dig site. Instantiate again. Say, because now we've got 2 different areas to go into, right? Say, dig site. Fairly certain that works that way. And then it'll be something. Say something. And then we've also got coffee should make you run faster in game. But should it stack with other things that make you run faster? I think that's too much. That's too powerful. Hey, beer chug. Say, I've heard reports of cultists. Soft cap? Seems reasonable to suggest a soft cap on all of the stacking speed buffs that you're getting. Coffee, bards drinking coffee, bards drinking coffee made by bard baristas, mobile bard baristas making coffee for bards, mobile bard barista wagon. MBB MMBC? Yeah, that would be LFG for MBB MMBC Midgard for sure. Having a spell speed buff makes the food speed buff not work. Oh, I don't know, Torgoddess. That was the question that was put on the table. You see what I did there, right there? John should be proud. I don't want to use the word reports again. All right. So we got this guy talking about some cultists. I've heard reports of cultists coming from the nearby hills. There are also stories of foreign cultists of all varieties making their way to Night Harbor in recent months. How are we supposed to work in these conditions? And then dig site, he'll lead you to the dig site. We've been researching one of the old ruins. What kind of we need a fancy word in here. You need cultist deniers. We'll put some people in this city. It's like, cultists? There's no such thing as cultists. This is all bullshit. Stories of the cultists are just being manufactured by the researchers in an effort to push for more pay. So do I do all the quest designs? Nope, I don't. I am just one of several people. Ham has been, honestly, it's been a crazy and very busy year for him. So he pops in and out and will dump some beautiful ideas and knowledge and stuff on us that we can extract for quests and things. Luna is doing quest writing and population work. I'm doing quest writing and population work when I'm not, you know, spending all my time entertaining you. Nick's got quests that he's put in as well. So when he's not doing a million things and also doing like systems and combat balance and class design, all that, he puts in quests. Honestly, anybody on the team that wants to put in quests can put in quests. We show them the PB. It's fairly straightforward, as you can see. But for now, that's kind of the bulk of it. Who's doing deep lore right now? I would say that we're doing a little bit of that. Luna and I are doing that with Ham, but we're not as like focused on all the rest of the world at the moment. We're kind of poking, cleaning some things up and fixing some inconsistencies, and I'm doing some revision in our documentation and our Confluence. We're more focused on the proof of concept areas and more immediately the zones, basically Night Harbor, Shaded Dunes for now, and we'll probably expand that. Like I said earlier in the stream, you may not have been in. I thought you were though. We're looking at dungeon number 2 as well, which I'm extremely excited about. Was just poking at that before because I was like, oh, I got 20 minutes where I can maybe poke at some documentation before the stream because I can't show you the documentation on stream. Sorry. So I was poking at that dungeon stuff, and I am amped. Fat Matt loves spaghetti. Do you guys that are maybe newer here, by newer, like within the last year, did you know that when Fat Matt Loves Spaghetti first came on the stream, like 2 years ago or whenever it was, I thought it was my dad. Because my dad was always called Fat Matt when I was like a teenager. We had the skate park, and oddly enough, he was like younger than I am now. But my dad at the time was like 6'4". I think he was walking around at a solid 260, but he, you know, at that point he was starting to get a little bit older, a bit of a beer belly. And so the little kids would just call him Fat Matt. And it was, you know, this was the 90s, so they spelled it with a PH. Fat Matt. That shit's fat dog. Right? And so it just always stuck. So, and my dad loved spaghetti. Like, spaghetti was the Sunday meal at my dad's family's house. Like, we'd go over there early in the day, and my grandfather would, oh man, we gotta hit pause here because apparently YouTube didn't realize that I wanted to freaking loop that. All right, now we're back looping it. Anyways, man, like we'd get there early in the morning and start making spaghetti, and it'd be one of those things where he's making the sauce a whole day while they're like watching NASCAR, and I'm making them 7 and 7s. Oh man, good times. So anyways, Fat Matt Loves Spaghetti came in, and for a while I was like, did my dad find Twitch? How did my dad find Twitch? In all fairness, my dad was an early adopter on Twitter, which is startling. So it wouldn't shock me, but yeah, so anyway, let's see, let's finish this up. We've been researching one of the old ruin sites in Shaded Dunes. The location is quite interesting, but unfortunately, I've lost all of my... Oh, I've lost my research journal. During the attack. We don't need any more words. Stephen King's a big fan of using as few words as possible. So am I. Daft Punk said, I wonder if you could use Chat GPT or another AI to generate NPC conversations. I think we'll eventually, by we, I mean the industry, I think we're going to eventually get there. If you watch one of the streams probably a year ago where one of the old SOE guys came in, Naris, came in. He spent like 2 days or 3 days of streams coming in saying that basically the future is going to be self-generating online experiences that are completely procedural and generated based off of the choices and desires of the player. And people are like, oh no, you know, but we'll eventually get to something like that. That said, I don't think, you know, it's going to be anytime super soon. The question that I've had is, and I think somebody posed it in the last stream as well. On one hand, you know, if a chatbot is basically writing the quests, would they be so beautiful and intellectually stimulating as the ones I'm writing? Probably not. That's sarcasm. But I think what would be interesting though would be an AI that basically, as we build up our Confluence, because we've got a wiki site it's a Atlassian product. If you work in corporate America, you're probably familiar with it. But we use Confluence, and so we've got all of our lore and stuff like that in there. It would be interesting to have a bot that's constantly just sort of understanding our lore and able to sort of, when we say, hey, let's discuss ideas in our universe, and have it actually be able to focus, pull references from other stuff, probably inspiration from other stuff, but really sort of keep it with an understanding of our universe. It would be cool to see what sort of brainstorming you could get, right? Because it's less about having it write the actual thing or do the actual dialogue, and more about the sort of brainstorming. Data Science Ninja said, did someone say data science? And then push the glasses up. Because there's already tools. People, you know... okay, I didn't get booted. People already use like random random thematic name generators and scenario generators and all that stuff. It's just an expansion on kind of like tableized encounter tables and things that help you sort of piece together ideas. If you get stuck or you're trying to like just come up with some cool shit, it doesn't hurt to hit random a few times. John said, I could see the first step of AI chat being idle conversation among NPCs that's lore and world related. Yeah, and I could see it being helpful for like, we've already got a system that we're using for, it started as like the points of interest system. So we've already got a system in that's a table of questions that, let me pop over here, but then let's finish up this quest after that. So like basically if you ask about any of these locations or individuals, the AI will, it's not AI, right? The NPC will tell you, it will respond to you and it will tell you where you could find that thing relative to their position, right? So that's helpful. But then the question is like, wouldn't it, and we've talked about this a little bit. We talked about it from the onset, like as soon as we put this in, and we've also like Luna has brought up some questions related to it as well more recently, and the idea is like, all right, so how do you give these responses a little bit more personality, right? Like how do you have the guy that gives you half-assed directions instead of the exact directions? How do you have the guy that just tells you to go pound sand? You know, how do you have somebody that gives you the directions in a wording that's slightly different from the other directions without us having to like actually write that, right? At the end of the day, for the sort of level of complexity of content that we're making, it's just honestly easier and faster to just make the content. The amount of curation and editing and shit that you probably have to do with anything that's generated at this point is still like, you know, it's one of those things where I think that's probably going to happen with art as well, where someone's like, by the time I clean up this piece of art, I could have just made it. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm not one of those people that's like ultra worried that it's going to immediately invalidate all of our roles. But I'm also somebody that thinks it's an inevitability. Rev Chumley said, I proposed that in Discord the other day. Oracle with AI trained only in world lore. Okay, that was you. Cool. I knew I'd seen it recently. I thought it was on stream, but you're right, it was in Discord. Daft Punk said, agreed. Hybrid model AI plus human is the way forward. I forget who's, a lot of people comment on this fact, which is we're already using that model, right? We've already gone from you actually needed to read books and know shit in order to write stuff and have a dictionary on hand to being able to Google things and go to Wikipedia, and then use random idea generators. And I mean, I'm essentially a cyborg right now because I'm talking through, you know, this platform, a network, excuse me, to all of you guys. Triggered responses are cool. I always enjoyed when you were out in the world with certain NPCs and heard about the guard back in your starting area have some crazy backstory that's only triggered after you talk to that one person. Yeah, King Bacon, layering in as much of that stuff is wonderful. Data Science Ninja says you could definitely generate bits of lore and simple quests and stuff with AI. It might require some people to manage in quality control. Yep. AI won't replace your job. A human who knows how to work with AI will, however. Fair enough. J Bombo, how dare you? But hello, also. You're dirty. That's a nice way of expressing that. Data Science Ninja said, if the lore was only important for pushing forward game, sorry, let me start over. If the lore was only important for pushing gameplay forward, then generated lore would be fine. And the interesting thing is the interaction between lore and gameplay is, I think it's going to pose more challenges than people realize in terms of getting a bot to that point. Because there's a lot that you've got to sort of, you're juggling in the background mentally when you're doing something like this quest is dead simple, right? And yet it might be kind of hard to generate. I don't know, might not be. Rules that understand balance and the content creation process fully. It definitely takes some work. All right, while you guys continue the debate in chat, I'm going to wrap this up. Lost my research journal. Cool. So we'll make another one of these. For, say, research. Or say journal. And he'll say, if you ask about those, yes. I lost it. I likely lost it as I fled there. It contains all of my notes. I'll pay handsomely for its return. Cool. It sounds like we've got a quest now. You guys are just... How do I know you guys aren't just chatbots chatting about chatbots right now? I noticed you perked up as soon as we started talking about AI. It's like, as soon as the topic of AI comes up, it's like, oh. I think AI is really important to discuss right now. So do I, AI. What do you think about that, AI? Was it typical at SOE to write quests directly in the database? Archmage Salamar said. No, as I was mentioned before, the usually the process is I'll have it in a document, because what I like to do is definitely not this approach, but this one's dead simple. I like to basically write it all out, then I can bust out all of the items that I need to create. I can note any NPCs that are implicated so that I can say, like, as a reminder to put the drops on their various drop tables. Like in this case, let's see, do I have a easy way to... Cool. File, new document. Cool. So yeah, a lot of times what it'll be is, you know, you start with kind of like an overview of the quest. I think I've shown this before. That's just, a lot of times it'll just be like a bulleted list of this happens then that happens, then we have a resolution. And then from there, break out the dialogue. Typically NPC 1. So that we get a good list of like the various NPCs. As we do that, in this case, there's only one that helps us build our NPC list. So you got NPC 1, and then the other implicated ones will probably be undead, or in this case, cultists in that area. Right, so we do this. We do that. We do that. We make this easier. He's just mentioned, and so then we can go items. Right, so he just mentioned journal. And we'll say Ashir's journal. It's going to be a quest container. Right, so then we're going to go Ashir's journal page 1. And you know, if we want to be precise, we'll do all of these, because then what we can do is when we go in later, we can put the actual like sheer underscore journal PG 1, right? Like that'll wind up being the human readable ID that we use when we make the items, right? So blah blah blah, and we'll just do this 1 through 6. 1 through 6. Get rid of that. And since it's a journal, it'll wind up having a description. A lot of times, you know, we just make that up on the, or I would just make that up on the fly. So, you know, but this one will probably have Ashir's journal. Oops. Journal appears to be missing several pages. All right. Now you've got some context reinforcing what to do with the quest container. Essentially, we've got these 6 pages, so it'll be a 6-slot container, and then because it is a quest container, it'll also be, we'll also want recipe, because we basically use the same system that's used for trade skills and other stuff to combine it. Yep. So you get the pages, you put them in the book, you hit combine, and then the good points, the result is Ashir's now we could just say journal, but sometimes people are like and they get confused, or that's not enough. So it could be Ashir's you know what? Actually, I don't want to put another word in, like intact or whatever. It just, that seems overkill. Because in the description, we can go here. Boom. Shear's journal now appears to be complete. Something like that. I really want folks to, you know, get used to looking at item descriptions. We put a fair amount of value in the item descriptions. There's hints and all of that stuff. So, one of the things that came up just based off some initial friends and family feedback, because we are getting people that haven't necessarily played this type of game specifically before, and we're doing a lot less hand-holding than you find in other games. We've been talking about the idea of we don't want a quest journal, like we don't want quest objectives on your screen or any of that shit, but the idea of dumping interactions out to a log that is more of like a journal of interactions, kind of like we've talked about in the past, the idea of doing, like to have a transaction ledger as part of our UI as well, so you can look and see everything you've sold or everything you've bought, everything you've traded, everything you've deleted, so that when you're like, oh, I don't know where my magic sword went, you can first check your transaction journal, be like, oh, that's right, I was drunk last night and started deleting shit. Or I let little Timmy use my account and little Timmy deleted shit, clearly because it magic sword deleted yesterday. And then also have a social interaction journal, so you can see the people that you've been grouped with, and where and when, that type of thing. People that you friended, you could go back and be like, oh wow, that I remember playing with like really badass gnomish cleric a week ago. I remember what his name was. Oh, Azaleel, that's right. And then yeah, so like the Morrowind style journal, yeah, we'll have to see how much functionality we actually get in, but I think that's been a common reference point. But yeah, essentially a journal. What it winds up being in terms of like full feature set later, we'll see. Is that transaction log something MMOs say forever or only a set time? I think most say forever, but archive. I would have to. I don't know. Forever is a long time. And MMOs is broad. I don't know that I could say that the last few that I've worked on did at all. But yeah. Sorry, BDC Retro, I don't have a better answer for you.
Hello, friends. So crafting.
Oh, it's not that I don't like you. I just don't understand why you keep popping up on this playlist when I've obviously got the playlist set to repeat. So let's go back. Hit pause here, back. Play all. Loop playlist. There we go. Seems like it would only last for the life of the character, but the server would save all the information unless there was a wipe. Don't know how that works with data dump. Yeah, I can't say definitively either. Sorry. And I don't want to speak for Ollie, because it may be more data than we think, though he's done calculations already on it. But I would say that we'll be saving that data for as long as possible. And there may be a grace period. Maybe it's something like X amount of time after an account has been deleted. But it's kind of tricky because people may come back after X number of years and you still want your shit to be there, right? Like my EQ account, I hopped on my EQ account after like 20 years of not playing it, and stuff was still there. Nick said, I've been up all night and now designing stuff, and now I'm casting the stream to 2 light mode windows intersecting each other on a 65-inch TV. Rip my eyes. I'm sorry. Oh, these dark mode people. It's just, you're right. It's funny, it's so bright. It's so bright that it actually throws off my lighting in here. Like if you're watching the stream, I can get the lighting adjusted to be okay. And then and then I open up all of my documentation and I'm just glowing. I'm totally not an FBI agent. Mushafasa, it's just not true. I can't use dark mode on most apps. I'm using like dark mode for Twitch right now. What else do I use it for? There are like one or two things that I use it for, like Telegram or something like that. But if I'm working, it just kind of makes me depressed. Staring into the darkness, it just makes me depressed. Now I feel self-conscious. Now I'm not going to work in a database in this window. Yeah, I have a lot of light in this room so that you guys don't see the green screen as well. NPC dialogue in a DB is super easy to edit. Yes, it is true. Seek and destroy. Why did you say that? You call it depressed. We call it relaxed. Dark mode plus blue light filter glasses saves on eye strain. That may be true. Oh, okay. Sorry, Seek and Destroy. Alright. Where was this stuff? Where was it? Cool. Alright. So we got our guy. If we want to do like a quick preliminary check, what we could do is... Nobody... Oops. Anybody else in here? Cool, I'm not messing anybody up if I reload data. I actually have a reload data macro on my other character. Let's make one real quick. Reload zone. Yeah, it's not reload data. / reload zone. Change icon. Okay. Run it. Ishiritari! Hello, V-Gates. Can I replace him by doing this? Nope. Interesting. We'll have to look at that. Have to make a note. Replace hotkey with new hotkey by clicking. I don't know why I'm writing this in this little notebook again when I thought I had switched to a text thingy. Little notepad thing. All right. So that's been run. Cool. Oh, but he's got to be triggered again. And he's not going to trigger on his own because he's probably currently being eaten by undead. There he is. And he's loaded. Can the hotbar be changed? Player preference to 2x4 vertical layout. Feels like old Velius UI. Not at the moment. I'm curious if that's like a common request. Like, I'm curious if we'll find a number of people want that functionality. Wasn't it you could just kind of drag the box around and the container would fill as appropriate? All right. Hey, hello. My apologies. I'm still trying to calm down after escaping. See the attach, that's a typo. That's why we do this. Let's fix that typo. The attach on our dig site. Thatch. Let's fix that bug before Nick sees it. Attack on our dig site. Attach leeches confirmed. What if that was exactly what happened? Come to find out they got swarmed by desert leeches. Oh my god, that's scary. So it's interesting, the stuff that Seek and Destroy and Mancubi, I swear I'm saying that wrong. Mancubi, what, am I saying it wrong? Should I be saying, do you need a nickname? I love nicknames. I'm kind of like George W. in that regard. Basically, they're talking about... okay. The difference between editing, basically building content in a database versus having it on like an asset or an object in the engine, and the flexibility there. Yeah. So one of the things I was mentioning in a previous stream fairly recently is... let's see. Oh, I thought Mancubi had responded to me. I didn't. Yeah, so what I was mentioning before is, like, if all of this was in the scene file, basically, and this stuff's not even in the scene file, all of this is, these spawners are being spawned in via data. But if we're in the actual scene file and the NPCs and stuff were essentially, you know, similar to any other object in the hierarchy, like, you know, essentially all of this art assets and stuff. And, you know, maybe we've got a prefab and we're putting stuff like interaction in the prefab in the asset as opposed to putting in a database the way that we're doing. What winds up happening is anytime we want to update that interaction or update some data on an NPC or whatever, we've got to go into the scene, we've got to, you know, or go into the prefab, we've got to edit that, save that out. I guess a benefit could be that when you edited the data in a prefab, it populates out, and then depending on your system, you may have like parenting where the prefab's got a child that's a variation on the prefab, and now you've got this hierarchy of data, which is kind of how like EQ2's system worked, if I remember correctly. At least the 2 weeks I was there, I looked at how they're doing like a hierarchical data structure, and it was like things off in folders and shit, and I was just like, I don't want to do this. And so anyway, and I've seen MMOs that have actually built, you know, been built or they didn't ship, but were being built where it was data in things like Matinee back in the day, or sorry, Kismet, and linked to like Matinee. So basically blueprints. So imagine we had some shit going on in here and is in a blueprint in this scene, right? So then, like, how easy is that to audit? How do you make a lot of it? If you look at like the stuff that we're doing right here, it's, you know, oh, and yeah, in order to update that stuff, you've got to basically send the scene out, or aspects of the scene, I guess, that then compile on the user's end, the player's end, the client or whatever. Anyways, whereas we've just got this pretty straightforward, like, this is a quest, it's a table. Right? It's just a table, and then within the quest, we've got the ability to fire off some different things and stuff. And, you know, one of the things I noted before is, like, if you look at our item database, I'll do something real quick. So, it looks like we're currently, if I go blah, 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 we got 1,419 entries in our item database already. Right? So, 1,419 entries in an item database with a tiny team that's really just been hammering on this type of content development for not very long, right? So now imagine, I remember when EQ was like hitting the point where the database was kind of capping out. It was like, you know, as we're nearing like 60,000 items, there's a bit of like, oh shit, we need to, you know, make it so that we can have more in our DB or whatever, right? And that was 20 years ago. So now imagine how much shit they got in their database after 24 years. So yeah, it's just about simple, very sort of like easily queryable, easy to maintain just robust enough tools. Good morning, Aaron Gunn. BDC Retro said, Sean, I've listened to interviews with former EQ2 devs that said they used a spreadsheet to auto-generate and spit out item stats because of how much they had to make. Are you able to pledge to sticking with handcrafted items? Yes, for as long as you're happy with occasionally broken and imbalanced handcrafted items. But I mean, dude, ask the art dudes even. Like, there are no grass tufts in Night Harbor, Newbie Yard, but if we zone over to the other zone, there's little grass tufts in there. Every single grass tuft you see, I placed by hand. I love, you know, there's just something about lower fidelity, but handcrafted. You can just feel the love, right? It's like that ugly hamburger that Eddie Murphy's mom made for him. There's a lot of love in an ugly hamburger. All right, so I found that first bug. Let me talk to this guy some more. Hour and 37 minutes into the stream, I've accomplished all of about... Well, I've accomplished a lot. Generated a lot of goodwill, love to the community, from the community. Oh shit, you know what I haven't been doing very well lately? I just keep assuming it's only the same people that are always in the streams in here. If you're new to this stream, if you stumbled into this madhouse from somewhere, you don't know what we're doing. We're making monsters and memories. There's a link. Check out the FAQ. Check out the team page. Check out every single one of our updates because everyone's got unique information in it that you're going to want to read. And then hop onto our Discord and hang out with us. Because when the team's not streaming, we're also rambling in the same manner in Discord. This don't look like no McDonald's hamburger. John, you know what I'm talking about. I got McDonald's. There's a pepper sticking out of this hamburger. Thunder, Fire, Ice, Wind said the company I work for has been on the AI machine learning train. Have you found any uses for the new tech, or do you see it as more of a fad at the moment? It's really useful for getting funding. But I don't, in terms of like an absolute need for it, no. I mean, I think there are tons of potential uses. It's just like, is it something where we're, you know, thinking about it very much? No. I think it's cool. I like the tech. I just don't, we don't need to waste our cycles on it at the moment. But I was asking, crap, I was asking folks last year about like GTP3 or whatever. It's like, do you think, is there something we could do with? So it's not that we're disinterested, it's just... Oh no, did he work? Yeah, he worked. He's working perfectly, Ollie. Thank you for fixing everything, as usual, Ollie. No, we're just slowly tinkering at putting a quest on him, Ollie. What attack? As the sun set, a group of cultists appeared and summoned forth undead, whose bones must have... we need a little bit more love on that. Let's add some more to that. It would be interesting to see GTP and GPT. I've been saying TP the whole day. GPT generate lore stories based on game lore, similar to how people made up explanations for things in real life. How the sun moves across the sky, etc. Yeah, it'd be like, can you tell this story from the point of view of the Ashira? Be interesting. Those monsters. I'm sorry, Sean. We're replacing you with chat TPV. It's all good. It's all good. I'll just retire. I've been replaced. As long as you're not giving it equity. Yeah, always replacing himself. And all the artists. And, yeah, there we go. Brilliant. Yeah, 3D is hard. Zukin's fine. Those... skeletons of the have previously occupied. This is gonna have so many typos in it. I'll get off stream and be like, WTF. Copy. Let's paste real quick. Where's our little document we had going? Go over here. Skeletons of some army that must have previously occupied the area immediately. Attack. Cool. Alright, so let's copy this back in. Just blame chat AI for putting in typos in the quest. That's what happened. It'll be interesting. It's a fair point. Like the plagiarism problem is going to be interesting, right? Like, how do you identify plagiarism for kids? How do you identify people that are getting paid to be like remote writers or remote coders that are just using a bot? J Bombo said, will there be worldwide server discovery aspect, like a title earned for unique items for the first person that finished a quest or discovered an item? That type of stuff's really fun. When we get a little bit further along, ask again. We'll probably have some thoughts on it. That's what you get for training your chatbot using 4chan as a data set. What, all of your text turns green? What happens? You see what happens, Larry? Journal? Yes, I likely lost it as I fled. It contained all of my notes. I'm going to add research in there. Research note. Cool. And then we'll add a quest on him. Not we, I. It'll happen off stream. What? I do that all the time. It's return. I see it now. I don't know why I do that. Maybe it's just because I'm really bad at English. Thanks, Archmage. It has been fixed. And I'll have to slowly go through every it's in there. Frickin' it. See, if I had a decent chatbot, it would be fixing this for me. Cool. So we got those. What else do we need to add here? What else is going on? Sorry for your eyes, everybody. Is there a dark mode on this? I'll switch it just to make you happy. Just make your lives easier. Where the frick is dark mode? Where's the button? Tools. Or edit. There should just be a... Oh, after you donate? Well, really? Because I've donated. And I just haven't emailed the guy to tell him I donated because there's no automated system for donations. It's a German fella. I should probably email him. Oh, thank you, BDC Retro, for messing with me. I never know when someone's messing with me. I'm a big dummy. Okay. So we've got this. Let's look at our little document that we're making. Which is turning out to be a godsend because I ramble and wander off course constantly. Alright. I don't see dark mode anywhere. It should just be like a big, very cool button. Like the cool kids button. Just push it. Let's make some items. I'm not gonna scroll through items anymore on stream. It's getting too spoilery. So sorry, folks. A lot of apps now follow your Windows theme. It's exciting that it's getting too spoilery though. Protest the bread. I'm glad you're excited. Yeah, there's stuff going in now. There's enough stuff going in that I'm not able to like. I haven't played all the quests yet. There's more content and stuff going in than I think everybody's kind of aware of. I've been sneaking in little things here and there. Not at a very fast rate, but I think in the coming weeks and months we'll start seeing more and more of that, and then it adds up pretty quickly. So yeah. Stabby the robot, yes. Gulo. How are you doing today? King Bacon says, I'm so curious as to what the overall themes of what's going on in the world are going to be. Good. That is good. Cool. We got this now. Tools, preferences, general, style, theme. Let's look. Tools, preferences, general, style, theme. Oh, all it did was turn all my text green. Oh no. Ah. Oh, now it looks all cool and computery. Oh my gosh, it hurts my eyes. Look. Ah. I can't do it. I can't do it. I tried. I think we've done this before. Will you see Kazelle running around Shaded Dunes? You will not. Kazelle is happy, loving life in a completely different game. His brother Franzel, on the other hand. Dark Theme versus Light Team. It's a battle as old as East-West, the East-West hip-hop war. So what you're saying is, the Light Theme, Dark Theme is something that's just orchestrated by the CIA to keep the man down. I know what's up. Biggie and Tupac, they're living in an island with Elvis. Alright, so what was I doing? Making some items. I was making items before I destroyed my eyes with that horrible theme that you guys made me try. Ugh. Ugh. Journal. True story. When I was in high school, this young lady who had very wealthy parents, it was around the holidays because I remember their giant Christmas tree. It was a 2-story Christmas tree because they had one of those second stories that kind of had the wrap around walkway to the upper rooms that overlooked the den or whatever. Can I check if I have food in my inventory? Yeah, I'll take a look. I'm always hungry. I don't. I've eaten all my food, but I still have water. So let's... Now, food wasn't auto-eating after you bought more food, but I thought that was just kind of how things worked. But like right now, I don't know that it's going to auto-eat it. I I don't know how I feel about being on a 65-inch TV, Nick. But I guess I don't have a choice. Yes, I don't think it won't auto eat once I've got new food. We'll see what happens. I'll just leave it like that. Well, it did auto eat, so I lied. So it's clearly auto eating, and it's even auto eating back when you get new food. For some reason, oh wait, it would auto eat, but you'd always want to just click on it anyway. That's what it was, to make it happen faster. I think that's what I'm remembering. Anyways, can I change the stream aspect ratio to 4:3 to throw off his 65-inch screen? You guys. So yeah, long story short, she was having a party when she shouldn't have. Her parents had way too much money, and they had this wonderful bathroom with everything had two. So it was 2 sinks, 2 toilets, and 2 jacuzzi bathtubs. I think 1 shower though. And her parents had this basket of jewelry in the middle between the sinks. And so there's all these random hoodlums like me, you know, at this party she's throwing. It's a nice side of town, at least for Dothan, Alabama. So, I had them, then they're all having a good time, and I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a nice big beer, and I'm going to go get in a jacuzzi bathtub. And so I asked if they would play some Digital Underground, proceeded to walk back to the parents' bathroom, stripped down to my boxers, and I put on all of her parents' jewelry. All of it. I had gold necklaces and bangles and and I climbed in their hot tub and sat there and drank my beers. I hope it was Sex Packets. I thought it was. Isn't that the one? I mean, that was the one that everybody listened to, right? Like, was that the one that had like round and round, round we go? I get around. Yeah, so that was, and you know, eventually people came in and found me wearing all the jewelry. I didn't do anything bad to it. I just wore it. I remember now, at some points, I went prowling, just kind of looking around, and on the desk in the den was an envelope full of cash. Just a white envelope full of cash. So I grabbed it, and I took it to the girl later at the this is later in the evening, and I gave it to her, and I was like, I don't think you understand the type of people you've invited into your house. Because it was like me and my friends. One of which was keeping everybody in the living room and dining room entertained by basically showing that he could dive over their giant glass table repeatedly. So it was one of those parties where there are many things that could have happened that night that would have turned out, it would have just been much different for her. But I think overall, she lucked out. Nothing bad happened. She was like, oh yeah, my parents were collecting that money for charity. But now that you mention it, maybe they were drug runners. Mushufasa said, I remember a rich girl having a huge party in high school. It felt so bad. People trashed the place. Yeah, fortunately, we were like...
Hail the Tub King.
Hey, thank you for the bits. I appreciate that, fanaticist. Fortunately, we just mainly kind of looked sketchy. We were good people. But you're right. They were probably drug runners. I'm glad nothing bad happened. Wouldn't that... Maybe my life almost changed. Oh, goodness. What what would have happened is if somebody had stole the money, now all of us, easily identifiable young punk kids, would be hunted by her, like, Ozark-style family on the DL, money laundering. Yeah, man, I lucked out. This whole time I've been thinking that we did her a favor. In reality, Karma did us a favor. One day I'll retell the story, though, of John said, "You've crossed the cartel for the last time." Dude. Oh, any depop. Yay, perfect. It's daytime. He goes away. He goes back to the camp. Look, we can go find him in the camp. Check it out. We'll do it. So it's been probably a good year or so since I told this story. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but John, I was targeted for I don't know what they planned on doing to me other than, yeah, I was targeted by we tried to do the right thing one time, and the cops actually told the people who we were trying to help. The cop actually told the bad guys that we were helping the good guys, and then and some bikers were hired to beat me up when I was a kid. I haven't told the full story in a long time, though. I don't know. Now that I've mentioned it, I probably need to tell the rest, because you're going to be like, what? But... the envelope was just bait, just waiting for someone to take it so they could have their yearly manhunts. Nice. Hey, Fabricio. How are you doing today? Okay, so the zone time's misaligned. So if it was daytime, The Hunt, the old movie with Ice-T. Oh yeah. What was the original story of that, though? There was something like, what was the name of that book or whatever, or story that was basically all about essentially that same plot premise? The Most Dangerous Hunt? Yes, Mr. Stabby the Robot. I was saying it right as you were saying it. Perfect. The guard told the necromancers, "You've been helping the paladins. They hired some rogues to beat you up." Davidoo, you know what? We might actually get something like that in there, in honor of my childhood experiences. What is the green entrance cave? Right now it's just it's an excavation site. What it was beforehand was, back in the day, or as we used to say, the Dizay, in keeping with our theme today, this was the entrance to a placeholder dungeon that we had put together. But now it's a dig site. So if you look, there's a bunch of scary undead and cultists and stuff here. And in a few minutes, they will all disappear and it will become a normal old dig site again. What if the money was counterfeit? Adds another layer? Possible. Does despawn have a graphic, or do they just disappear? They just disappear. So we've talked about that before. My concern is when you start doing, when you establish some sort of a metaphor, or if you start doing unique animations for like spawn and depop, if it's done, it feels like it's either got to be something that's kind of special and fun and feels one-off, or if you start doing it and you don't do it for everything, then it feels a little like incomplete. But then if you do it for everything, you've got to have something that feels like a good uniform metaphor, right? Like, so if you look at something like if you look at Zelda, I could have sworn they do nice like death poofs and respawn like poofs in Breath of the Wild. Am I wrong on that? And so, but do we want to have that? Then it starts to feel a little bit more gamey, whereas that gamey stuff felt nice in like Breath of the Wild. The question then becomes, Like, does that make the game feel more or less real, right? And to me, just having them depop and then just poof, just disappear and new stuff pops. It's one of those things you look at and you're like, that could be fancier, but in it not being fancy, I think it also doesn't attract attention to itself. Fabricio says, want to linger inside and loot weapons. We have a different dungeon for you to do that in. Ehud LFG says, reminds me a bit of the entrance of the Fallen. Oh, cool. Nice sunrise happening. It is a pretty sunrise. It's really fun seeing the day-night cycle go while you're out here. It makes different places feel a little different as well. It's really nice when you're on the beach. All right, so these guys have reappeared. Perfect. Protest the bread. We are using Unity. Fitting music playlist. It's a playlist of our OST. Did I ever make a playlist key? I don't think I did. Let me check the bot. This should be it though, I think. Remove that index. Try that. That is all our music. Ooh, nice mount over. Mouse over. Did I say mount over? Whatever. Pied!
Long time no chat. Looks like things are going well with M&M.
Thank you. 1100 bits. That's crazy talk. It's good to see you. Yeah, things are just rocking right along. Alright, so our dude is back here. And it's cool because when you talk to him, because he's a different NPC when he's in the other zone, then this is nice and clean. You won't be able to trigger any of the other quest texts and stuff. What were we doing before? We were making his journal, weren't we? Round and round, round we go. Protest the bread, thank you for the sub. Very cool of you. I think I picked the wrong theme when I was doing this. More bits. Thank you even more, Pied. Pied, are you on our mailing list? Have you been getting the updates? People that aren't on our mailing list, you should really check it out, especially this year. We're going to be shooting for some open playtests to check load and things like that and get folks in mass and see what happens. We're hoping to get the first one of those before the end of Q1, so before the end of March. So I think it would behoove you, if you're interested in this game, to join the mailing list and be on our Discord. And keep an eye out for everybody's streams, all the team member streams. Which, if you're in the Discord, you'll be notified when they go off. Fabrizio said, game looks and sounds really cool. Looking forward to lingering around and enjoying the scenery. Hell yeah. You love being behooved? I was trying to think of a real quick like goat joke, but I couldn't. Better to be behooved than dehooved? Boom, protest the bread wins. John is slacking. Oops. Man, it's Thursday again already. Oh man, the week's just flying by. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to just sit down and focus on writing so that there's more stuff to implement and more stuff to maybe play and check out on Tuesday. Fabricio said, my big brother played EverQuest when I was a boy. This reminds me of it. I like it. That's really cool. Yeah, we're shooting for something that it just feels like it comes out of that era, right? Modernized in a number of ways, but still really an homage to all of our favorite games from back then. So if you didn't play Fabricio, if your older brother did, how did you find us? Did you just find us here in the game development and software development channel, or? Fabricio said, modern games are too easy and people can just buy gear with real money. Yeah, that's what we're getting away from. Ah, cool. You like watching dev streams. Nice. Ehud says, I'm curious how modern game tools compare to stuff you used back in the EQ days. So back in the EQ days, a lot of the work basically just looked like this, working in tables. And then we would push the data, export the data from the DB. We were always working in a live database. The database basically with everybody else. If you broke something, you broke it. And so we would just export it into, yeah, like you could literally accidentally erase shit. And if you didn't realize it, you just broke the game. And so we'd work in the database. That's why I've always kind of been comfortable with that approach. And then the difference though is instead of having like export and, you know, export and push it to the zone and then hop in and blah, blah, blah. You know, over the years, more and more, we would see tools where you could reload data a lot easier. And that's where we're at now, right? So got this scene view where essentially that's all Night Harbor's data. That's not the zone we're currently in. So if we go to zone panel, disable, pick the right zone. So we're in Shaded Dunes, enable. It'll take a second. Basically, it just pulls from the database right now. Pegalac G, thank you for the follow. All right, so now you see this is this zone's data. It's rad because that's me right now in game view, and I'm on the dev server. So if, you know, let's see if Nick or somebody else was in here working, I'd see them running around, right? And so we're working on the live server right now, on our dev server, not our test server. Our friends and family folks are playtesting on the test server right now. We push everything to the test server like once a week, plus hot fixes and stuff. But the cool thing about working in this environment is it is a lot more WYSIWYG in terms of like mob placement and stuff. So if I don't like that this guy's spawning here, I can easily move it. I'm giving him commands when he spawns right here in the editor. We're working on some tooling. Like you see this guy right here. He's actually number 189. And then he's moving. Oh, hey, Stoic. Thank you for 13 months. And so he's just moving along these go-tos. All right. So, and we can adjust this, save it out in real time, and then reload the data, and boom. Yeah, sorry it's so early for so many of you. Hey, Swanee. Does your new client patcher show patch notes each time it's updated? Not at the moment. It's the new client. The new client patcher is the one that Ali just put together for us. So we'll have to update that Yeah, the modern tools are much more accessible. Basically, everything that you would learn by just grabbing Unity, if you want to start, basically learning how to work in this environment, you can just download Unity, start playing around. A lot of what we do in here in terms of world building, or I guess I should say like level design and stuff like that, we're even using, to get like an old school feel, we're even using Pro Builder in Unity to like adjust the art and things like that. And naturally we can always export and import out of Unity into Unity to things, applications like Maya. Rev Chumley said, it felt like patch notes back in EQ days was just some devs adding to a notepad when they changed something. There was always stuff left off. Yeah, and we're doing that as well. It's honestly, it's pretty hard to just generate release notes because we could do it if everybody was checking in their work to GitHub in a way where it was written as like a if it's written exactly as it needs to go into like the patch notes, but that's never the case. They always need cleaned up. The other thing is all the changes we make in a database, there's no output there. There's nothing that's saying, oh, Sean just made this item and that item. And if there was, it would be so dense, it would actually be a pain in the ass to read. So patch notes, in my experience in game development, tend to be something that you just pull together by hand because you want to consolidate certain topics or clean up certain things. Sounds like constraints can increase creativity for a game like this. I firmly believe so, BDC Retro. I believe so. It gets too easy to be able to do everything and then vapor lock and make nothing when a lot of our content's relatively simple. Ehud said, I thought about downloading Unity and messing around with Lantern EQ. No serious plans, just something fun to do. That would be a blast. The Lantern EQ stuff is badass. It's honestly, it's part of what inspired our initial discussions about making a game. You guys over there are doing great work. The Shears Journal. We're going to make it a quest container. Trade skills. Self-destruct. The tools... Hold on a second. Okay. The tools available nowadays are amazing. You can pick up Unity or Unreal Editor with zero prior knowledge, put together a simple side scroller in a couple hours. It's crazy. Yeah, it's fantastic. And the fact that there are even more engines like Godot or Godot. I know a few others have been referenced here. Are those new walk animations on the NPCs? They look good from up here. Oh, thanks. Yeah, we're constantly just cleaning up and adding new stuff on the animation front. Urk and staff has just been hammering away on that. Curious how we see group play and the roles involved. That's such a big topic. You should hop into our Discord. Thunder, fire, ice, and wind. Yeah, BDC just mentioned, if you weren't aware, Ehud. Oops, I just got distracted. Yeah, so Zukin was doing some work with the Lantern guys as well early on. You can watch his stream. Here, I'm going to fire off a list of like 4 streams, I think, of people from the team. If you join our Discord, though, you can always see when they're on. I think I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I think I've got to put container data in here though. So let me open another window so I can cheat off of it really quick. Item. Boom. Quest. What's the data that I need to put in here? That'll work. Description. Description will say. Oops. Shears journal appears to be missing several pages. Cool. So we have this now, right? In theory, what we could do is just in real time. Zukin streams at 3 a.m. though. Does he really stream that late? I didn't realize it was that late for you guys. So what I can do is I can pop back in here. Maybe. We'll see. I just clicked the game tab and nothing happened. Okay, there I am. I'm going to reload the zone. So that pulls the latest database, latest data from the database. And now I can, in theory, summon this item. Oh, you know what though? I wanted to have this nice book graphic though. That's not right. Oh, really? No, really? That's the icon's name? Grimoire? Let's look. It is. Huh, okay, let's use it then. Let's update our item. Pattis and I are perfect times for you? Awesome. Alright, so we'll go in here. Yes. We'll reload zone. And cool. So this is a Shear's journal. It's now a container. And I wonder if it looks weird because it's also, because of the size, it's here because it's a medium container. So let's fix that as well. But before we do that, let's put it in a safe spot. And we'll come here and we'll make it. I wonder what. I see why it's. Can I put it other places? But I can't put it on the belt. But this book, spell book. Let me look and see why that's different. What's different about these two items? We'll move this over. My dog just came and whined at me and then got bummed and walked off. Poor guy. Slot said belt 1, belt 2, etc. This one did. And this one doesn't. Just doesn't. So yeah, that's why I'm going to compare those and... So it's using this slot mask. Let's try that real quick and see if that helps. Slot mask here. And one more time. Reload zone. So it's saying the right things. It's telling me the right things, but it's just not. Protest the Bread said, just messaged Agility, who I knew played P99 by Eminem. Should have realized that he's already in Eminem's Discord. Right on. That's nice to hear. That's pretty sweet. What else is different about these guys? We got, I'll put this one over here. And then we'll scroll through. It's a schmal. Oh, it's got a graphic as well. Wonder if that's got anything to do with it. Let's go over here and give it a graphic. Texture definition, model. What? I can adjust the color right here? Are you kidding me? No way. Oh. Nice. I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize it. Small. RGBA, correct. You're correct. Book's pretty heavy though. We'll make this like a 0.3 on the heavy scale. Salutations to you, Vagrant Frontier. And if this don't work, then whatever. That's just gonna be the way it is for now. I'm not getting hung up on this. Reload the zone one more time and then we're moving on. Nah, it doesn't want to go in there. But it will be a bag though, which is just interesting to me. Does it appear though? No, because it's not on my belt. Anyway, it'll work. It's fine. It's fine. This works then. So now we need to make ourselves we need to make ourselves some pages to collect. So So, ooh, you know what would be fun? To actually have some research notes in here. Flugen to the Deutschland early next week for Eminem Con 2023. Badass, Swanee. Keep me apprised. What is the actual way of saying that, though? Ishiwatari or someone? Fliegst zum Deutschland? Fliegt? Yeah, if you end up on the north side, hit me up for sure. Be around for a bit. Be around to the end of the month. On fleek? Thadvik? I think on fleek is proper German. That is the Germans. A sheer page 1. A Shears journal page 1. And so what I want to do with these is maybe even have some like some legit research notes that you can read. So that you get like a little bit of lore about the area that they're digging around in. So yeah, next steps in the quest will basically be to make more of these pages. Got 5 more to make. From there, we add them to a loot table. And then from there, we'll add the loot table to an NPC loot table, which we then place on the undead and cultists here that appear at night. Is there any snow in our neck of the woods? Nope, no snow. It's actually been warm. It's been pretty warm. You want a table for your loot? Thadvik? Would that be for storing your loot or for actually playing it? Yeah, it's been relatively warm here the last few weeks. Like fall weather, spring weather. Bonnie said wife wanted the kiddo to get to see some, so we were thinking about going to Switzerland for a day or two, but we're going to play it by ear. Yeah, if you can go down to Switzerland or Austria, it's worth the trip. We went snowboarding a few years ago in St. Anton, and man, legit snow. I think that was like the one and only time I've snowboarded in anything resembling powder. So what I'm doing here is I'm just duplicating these guys, updating. Oops. So just for like polish sake, what I'll do is duplicate row is keys 3. We'll probably not number these consecutively. Oops. Instead, oh no, what do you guys think? I'll let you make the choice. Should you find 6 consecutive pages from the journal, or should you find 6 random pages from the journal? Powder is fun. A whole lot of fresh powder. My first time, though, was a bit scary. I can imagine. Was in Colorado for their 100-year storm back in 2003. It was just enough to be super floofy. And, oh, you know what? Now that I think back to it, it was just enough to be super floofy. And what that did was it was fun to sort of like carve through. And when I jumping little things and falling, I didn't give a shit. Pages 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Well, we'd have to have 7 as well then. Or like 9. But I could imagine if you're in that like deep floof, then it might get a little scary. Like, how do I get out of here? Right? Like, holy shit, this is yeah, I can absolutely see why that might not be the most exciting thing for you. Well, actually pretty exciting, just scary. Should we use Whitechapel's numbers Even though there's a gamer number in there. I don't want people thinking we were trying to be silly. Oops. Oops. How can you have a page 4 but not a page 20? Page 4, page 20, page 69. I know how you guys are. Whitechapel, why did you pick those numbers? All right, so we're gonna adjust that. We're gonna adjust that slightly. 4, 17. Um, 37, 42. I know I'm immediately gonna get feedback on the quest, like something like if he's got that many pages in his journal, how did you know which ones were missing? They're numbered. No? Okay. All right, and then we owe them some interesting quest text. All right, so those are in now. Now what I can do is I can take these. Oh man, wouldn't it be nice if I could just quickly sketch something? Oh, sun's going down. Oh no. Yeah. So Uncharted 4, it's slightly higher production values than what we're shooting for. A little bit more, but here. While the sun goes down and these guys get eaten, I'm gonna work off screen. It's funny. You see the stuff that we've done so far. We're proud of it. We think we've made some good progress over the last 2 years working part-time with a small team. Could you imagine if we had like, I don't know, 1/20th the budget of one of these other games? Hell, 1/160th of a Rings of Power episode. Passion does make a good game. Yeah, I just think if we had all that money, we'd get slack. Imagine having a budget. Yeah. We have a budget. I mean, we spend money. We do spend monies. Rev says, when I win the 1.3 billion lotto tomorrow, I'll fund you guys, don't worry. Hell yeah. High five in advance. I'll show you what I'm doing in a second after these guys get eaten. And then Sean will call you dad. If I will. Daddy Reb Chumley. I will not even hesitate. At the end of the project, they'll be like, what did you contribute to the project, Sean? And I will say everything. And Reb Chumley would be like, it's true. He did that. Oh no! Help, I'm being attacked. They're putting up a fight, folks. The archaeologists are putting up a fight. Oh, the head researcher Ashir came over here to get in the mix. We had a bug earlier in the week where anytime everybody else get dealt with, yeah, it looks like everybody got handled. Oh, okay, they just finished. We had a bug earlier in the week where every time somebody would spawn in that was like a cleric, they would spawn in, they would buff themselves, then they would buff the nearest person and then punch them. I forget, I can't remember at the moment what the hell was actually going on, but they would spawn in, they'd self buff, and then they would buff somebody else, and then immediately run over and start attacking the person that they buffed. It was like some weird ass aggro bug that Ollie and Nick wound up digging into. Isn't that how you buff people? I mean, it would have made playing a cleric even more fun. But yeah, so... You see what happens, Larry, when you buff a random stranger? So, I'm making the recipe right now. Oops. That is components, right? Oops. Yeah, 2. Get it together, Sean. Jeez. Never pay attention to anything. So bad at making games. Damn it. What is wrong with you? It's Thursday. Thursday's my streaming Friday, so I'm out of control. Care of 5. Duplicate rows. 6. Alright, we got us a recipe. It takes these 6 things. Seb Ponu said, oh, you guys are making items in SQL and it appears in game? Yep, it does that. It does that very thing. Okay, and so now, so we've got the recipe, we've got the components, so the 6 pages that go into it, and now we've got the result. Which reminds me, I probably need to actually make the result. So here, boom, 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 insert this guy here, but it wants a result, and the result doesn't exist yet, so let me make that item. Duplicate row with keys. Bashir's journal. It is no longer a container. It's a normal thing. It's normal. He's normal. And then we'll update the description. A cheers journal with all pages intact. Yes. Ahem. All right, time to go play with bananas for 8 hours. I don't know if that's a euphemism or what, but have fun, I guess, Vagrant. Cool. All right, so we did this stuff. Let's see if it worked. The moment of truth. It's not a euphemism. Okay, you're literally going to play with bananas. All right, well, you know. Just remember, there's money in the banana stand. I'm proud of myself for actually remembering quotes today. Isn't that the quote? All right, so also low levels of radiation. Is that actual quote as well? I wanted Jasmine to watch that show with me, but she wasn't getting it. Her English is amazing too, so I don't know what the problem was. Yes, YouTube, I'm still watching. And young, dude. These are my medals. I got them in army. These are my medals. Oh my god. Oh, Buster. That's not what we're summoning. Oh. That show. Eh? What's going on here? Why are you mad at me, chat box? Stop looking at me that way, chat box. Oh, I need to reload the data. Alright, so reloading zone. Should have the latest data now. And... Alright, we've got page number 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. Y'all got me actually wanting to sit down and watch an episode of TV tonight with Jasmine. All right, so we got our pages. Let's see, does it do a thing? Cool. Does it fit anywhere? It doesn't. All right, because it's no longer a bag. Fair enough. Trailer Park Boys, one of the best series ever. I never got into it. I got to admit. I apologize. Cool. So now we've got the book. So in theory, so this is the fun part of the quest. If we go back to the zone that we started in Night Harbor where the guy is, he's not going to be up. Because the only time you can turn in this quest is if he's alive. But he just got murked by the undead. So, time. It's 8 p.m. here. But I don't know what time it is in Night Harbor. We need to get the, we've got a command on our list of things that we need. We need a command to basically reset the time to be the actual server time in all the zones. Yes, I've got super top tier bard speed. Totally not hacks. So, alright. Oh, I just went through the world. That's what happens when you hack. See what happens, Larry? Oh, so those of you... We're down to our last 10 minutes. So the quest is almost complete. Basically, all that's left is I need to make a new quest entry. And rather than it be driven by a dialogue, a hail, or a keyword, it's actually, it's just going to be when you turn in the book, right? So that's what's left. Those of you that have never seen our shoreline before, welcome to our shoreline. Thoughts on Big Lebowski? I really like it. I'm a fan of Big Lebowski. Ignore that we've got duplicate assets here. It's a bug in this zone. Zone Night Harbor. This is getting out of hand, another two of them. We've made twice as much city. Can't wait for the rest of 2023 and see you guys keep crushing. Games coming along. Great to see. Thank you, Enoch. Are we zoning? Oh, you know what? We probably aren't zoning. We're probably not zoning. Let's log in a different tune. You want to know why? Because I'm carrying items in. We currently don't repop data in the world. We repop data in the zone. So when I'm doing that, just sort of right there, working locally on items and stuff, it will be goofy until I run in and pull the latest data into Night Harbor on another tune. But like when the server's bounced or whatever, then everything gets updated. But we probably need like a world repop for situations like that. Just better safe than sorry. So when you zoned, the game was like, what's this thing in your inventory, and just burps? It just keeps me from showing up in there. I'm fairly certain that if I... Ooh, look at me. Fancy. If I load in there and then reload the zone, then we're all good to go. G to G. Mezumo, thank you for the follow. Did I ever play The Realm back in the day? I'm fairly certain I didn't. I'm fairly certain. Well, I know I didn't in any substantive way. But for some reason, I thought my uncle's friends were into it. Okay, so I'm in Shaded Dunes now, the zone that we just zoned out of before. If you notice, in this instance, it's there aren't any duplicates of Night Harbor in there. So we'll get in. Notice the difference in time. It's because I was manipulating the time in the other zone. So, time set 6 a.m. here. Cool. Those of you that are new here haven't seen Night Harbor in its current glory. Oh, you're not going to see it now. Huh. Ran into that bug. I think it's something with the addressable system. It's not loading that subscene there. That's disappointing. The whole harbor area is missing. Yeah, so we're continuing to block stuff in. Work. From higher up, it looks like a solar panel farm. That's the Easter egg. Pat's had the same issue the other day. Yeah, we're running into it. It's been very off and on for me. How do we think the servers are powered? It's true. This is a carbon neutral game. The servers are powered by the in-game solar farm. Keep in mind, anything I say on stream does not represent the views of the company and is likely patently false. Oh, the other day, last week, when we put the doors in, started adding all the doors into the inn. It should give me a message saying, yeah, I don't have the key. In theory, I'm in editor right now, so frame rate's a bit poopy. But in theory, if I had the cash, oh, do I not have that data? I thought the innkeeper was selling them. Weird. I'm fairly certain they should be there. Who would be selling them if the innkeeper's not selling them? They're not on him. No, they are on him. Oh, they're on him. Should innkeeper be innkeeper? Is he spelled wrong? What? I swear I'm being sabotaged. That hasn't always been like that. Did one of you sneak in the database? I think you're trying to sabotage. Have we never noticed it in all these months? Well, at least his HID is spelled properly. INN keeper. Or keep. Alright, we'll just fix it real quick. We'll pretend like, listen, no one saw that. There are no bugs in M&M. What? See? I don't even know what you guys are talking about. It's bullshit. I'm deleting the VOD. Anyways, I'm gonna ask Nick why the bartender's got the keys instead of the innkeeper, and if there's no real reason, then we'll move the keys over to him. But if I had the cash, which I don't, in theory, I guess I could summon the cash. I could buy a key to one of them rooms up there. Nick showed me the setup, and I went in and the door shut behind me and I don't have a key, so I could not get out. But he can't trap me. He had to borrow the inn to duplicate the other assets. Yeah, times is tough right now, man. People selling letters out of their names. Player made gels. Exactly, Sakash. Okay, guys. We're creeping up on 5 o'clock. Hey, buddy. So it's doggo time, and then I'm gonna take him out for a walk, and then probably start dinner. If you like, you know, sort of, we tinkered around with just creating a quest and stuff today. So if you like that, let me know, and we can do some more stuff like that. I always get a little nervous that it's too slow or boring for you, but hey. Delta Loco, thank you for the sub. Can you duplicate your key so you can give it to your friends? Seb, Ponu, later on when we actually start getting into the details of the housing system and stuff. Yeah, there'll be all. We were just talking about it the yesterday morning. We'll have all sorts of stuff, and there'll be guild housing, and your guild can all have keys and all that stuff. So, beer chug. Okay, let's do the goodbyes now. We'll do the goodbyes. Beer chug. See you. Have a great weekend. Delta Loco, thank you for that. Delta Loco said, love your content. Looking forward to this game. Amped that you love it. Those of you that are new here, check out our website, join our Discord, join our mailing list. Don't get lost in those links, everybody. Rev Chumley, see you. Mr. Stabby, we'll probably avoid all the abuse cases. We're making a perfect game. John, see ya. Chinny D, have a good one. Have a great weekend. MMO Pug, take care, buddy. Chaz Solo, bye-bye. Who else we got? Anybody else going to say goodbye? Any more nice guys? BDC Retro, have a great weekend. You're very welcome. Enoch, have a wonderful weekend. Later, Pattis. See you, Seb. Archmage Salamar, thank you very much. Thanks for the feedback. Dadvic, see you. Esan, see you, bro. Fanaticis, Choose. Mr. Stabby, thank you very much. Hopefully I will see you on Tuesday along with everybody else. All right, guys, I'm going to reach over and turn this thing off now. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend.